Hello and welcome to another See You Next Thursday on a busy news week. Sorry a bit late today, but we had a few tech issues. Basically, the old guy doesn't know how to use technology, but we won't say any more about that. Anyway, Rangers have announced the release of a new fourth kit to celebrate the team getting its fourth win on the bounce with clean sheets. I hear Everton have had a similar plan in place, but the kit's all was produced at the time and it's all ready to go whenever that actually happens to them. Still got Hafnir on the front light, but they'll release it anyway if it ever happens. Speaking of the Toffees, we have had 25 battlers tonight as Stone Cold Sean Dyche's men begin their assault on the Premier League title. They were a bit late, like 2 months into the season nearly, isn't it? How are you, Bill?
I'm good, thanks, Chris, and really looking forward to today, telling you how good Everton were in the last 2 games.
Yeah.
Been really exciting.
I know I already had to cut you off so we could start it where you were telling us how great they were. and we've also got Ed 72 here because Man United have now won a game, so beating Palace's reserve, so he's all excited, aren't you, Mr. Lekenda? How are you, mate?
I think he's 77.
Yeah.
We've won 2 games. We've won 2 games actually.
It's a joke, Bill. Because I always I've got his number wrong once, so now I always just say the wrong number every time.
Okay,
sorry, mate. It's a bad joke, really bad gag. I should. I think you know what that calls for, don't you, Seamus?
Yeah, you should be docked at least 10%. Yeah, you should be docked at least 10% of your appearance fee.
Which is 10% is 0. Yeah, I think I could cope with that. 10% is 0. It's still fucking 0. So take it away, mate. Take it away. Yeah. So anyway, should we get started then, or have you got either of you two got jokes for us? Because I know you two keep on the really.
Okay. Speaking of 10%, do you guys know most Jewish men are circumcised?
Yeah, go on.
Do you know why?
No, go on.
Because Jewish woman won't touch anything that's at least not 10% off.
Oh. You'll have a shut down with anti-Semitism now.
I know, yeah.
Fucking hell. He's making a pitch to be social media, to run the social media in Napoli, isn't he?
No, any publicity is good publicity at the end.
When we shut down, yeah, great. Cheers, mate. What's next? You're going to produce mocking videos of of coconuts and awesome men. I think we need to.
You know what? I've got a few coconuts lying around. I could actually do that.
I'm sure you have, but I really don't think we need to know about your sexual antics, mate.
That's all we got for Mr. Robbo.
Yeah, you saved that for Rob. I know. Sorry. Didn't mean to step on anybody's toes there. Anyway, should we talk about as I mentioned it there? Should we talk about the Napoli thing? Because that's before we get onto the EPL stuff, I think that's a bit of a shocking story that when your own team's social media channels are mocking you with racist videos. Like it's especially when you're you're probably their star man as well. I mean, he's their top scorer in that awesome man and. To start producing racist videos mocking him because he missed a penalty for them. I can't get my head around it. What were they thinking?
That's the state of Italian football at the moment. I think it's an absolute disgrace what's going on in Italy. Not just the racism thing, the fighting, people getting stabbed every time they go to games in Italy. Fans, I mean, and the whole state of the game, it's just with the corruption that's involved, as I say, the racism, the fighting at the grounds. No other club wants to send fans there because it's a hive of stabbings and everything else. I think it's an absolute mess and a disgrace. I really do.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to And it's not like it's new either. It's this has been going on
No.
since the 80s, at least.
I know they haven't tried to cure it yet. They haven't.
No, not at all. I mean, the Roma fans, the greeting is they ride scooters round, and they have like long poles, and they attach knives on the end, and then they stab you up the arse with it. That's their way of greeting opposing fans when they visit the city.
Oh yeah, very nice.
And that's been going on since at least the 80s, because 1984, a lot of people got stabbed. That was part of the ill
Yeah, yeah.
which led to the problems the following year in the final. Because it was another Italian side, and people were just like, well, we're not going to fucking stand and take this. Last time, loads of us got stabbed and beaten and attacked and stuff. And it does.
Yeah, I think it's a disgrace.
And it leads to more violence because people retaliate, as I was saying,
Yeah, yeah.
You've got to stop it somewhere.
Was it Roma fans who stabbed the lad from Ireland at Liverpool's ground? Was that
No, you
Roma?
mean Sean Cox, the one they did him with a hammer, but
Yeah.
Roma fans, yeah, they're vile.
Yeah, absolutely terrible. Yeah. Yeah.
And the thing is, you've got their main rivals, Lazio, are no better. They're fucking neo-Nazis. So, like, if you're born in Rome, you're not got a lot of choice of which team to follow, have you?
No. No, I think it's a disgrace. All Italian football, you see it, that, the racism there, and there's problems every single week with Italian fans, Italian grounds. It's just, and the corruption involved, Juve and that. It's just, I think it's a mess, an absolute mess, Italian football.
I mean, it's no wonder it's struggling. But what can they, what can you exactly do if you're Ottoman? What do you do in this situation? Do you then, can you then, hand in a transfer request and look to move? Would you? What would you do, Ender?
Deeps?
Is he not listening? He's probably he's playing chess with Rob a bit.
You got one thing right. Not with Rob, but yeah, I actually am.
See, I knew it. We're just not good enough for you, are we?
No. If I was Osimhen, I would look to leave the club now because they basically villainized him.
Yeah.
I can't see what else he can do now.
Why would he want to? Why would he want to stay?
I can't see why you'd want. Not when the club itself is mocking you like that. I just don't understand why they did it. This is the thing I can't get my head around. What were they thinking? Even if it wasn't, even a non-racist one, why would you mock your own player missing a penalty?
I don't know. I really don't know. I'll give up on it.
When it's one of your best players, like someone who won you the league last season, it's not like if someone like Harry Maguire was being mocked, then although you wouldn't agree, you could understand why it's happened. But with him, he's been so successful for them. He's gonna get them a bunch of money as well when he moves. Just don't understand why they would do that.
No.
I just read down. Wow. Napoli, we know they're a mess. Look at the way the manager wins them, and the first thing he does is quit. What? You've got to be a bit of a crappy club when your manager does that. He's a hero, you know what I mean? He could have any other club in the world. He'd be pretty much able to ask for anything, and he'd get it, wouldn't he? You know what I mean? Or the club would bend over backwards to keep him. Napoli, it's just an absolute mess,
Yeah.
Shocking though. You really can't believe that they do it. Really can't.
No.
But while we're on this, we were touched on the violence in football. Did you see anything of the Ajax fans, right? And after Feyenoord took a 3-0 lead against them.
No, it got abandoned the game, didn't it? The game got abandoned.
Yeah, it's been replayed, hasn't it, since?
Yeah.
I don't know.
And Santiago Jimenez completed his hat-trick 3 days apart. 2 goals on Sunday, was it?
I can't remember. They definitely finished the game.
2 goals in. Yeah, they finished the game. 2 goals at the weekend and 1 in the restarted match.
It's just astonishing that they trashed it, and it was supposed to be. What's his face was gone back to be presented, wasn't he? And to say goodbye because he never got the chance.
Jurrien Timber.
That's it.
Jurrien Timber.
Yeah, he went back to say his goodbyes. He was going to be presented, and basically they ended up having to sneak him out in riot police protection and that underarmed guard and that because the Ajax fans were smashing the place up, properly smashing it up. I mean, have you seen the state of it? The footage and that they were smashing it up. Properly.
No, I never seen the footage. I just read that it had been abandoned. That's all I read about it.
Well, yeah, they threw flares on the pitch, and that's why the match was abandoned. But they were actually they literally trashed the stadium. I mean, what the fuck is wrong with them? Your club's doing badly. How is that going to help?
Yeah, they've always had a bad reputation though. It's like European Championships and that. The Dutch fans, they're pretty heavy metal sort of gangs, you know what I mean, when they go to Euros or anything like that. They, along with England, I'm not giving England a free ride. They're a load of bad supporters as well. But but mainly the Dutch and the English, I'd say, are probably the worst for violence at championships.
Yeah, they usually get blamed on the English, but Dutch are worse.
Did you know that Jurrien Timber's twin brother was playing for Feyenoord?
Yes, yeah. Apparently.
And assisted 2 goals.
Oh, did he? Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh, well, at least he had a good day anyway, Timber. He's still injured.
So, would he... Yeah, he's out for at least like another few months, I would
December,
say.
Isn't it, at least?
He hasn't pulled up any trees, has he, Timber, since he's been there?
How long have you been saving the sun?
Oh, God. Where's that fucking soundboard?
Turn me Bluetooth off. I like all the effects, Chris. I like that.
See, you get the extra special treatment.
It sounds as though I have done, yeah.
Yeah. That's after the Davis gag. Just get the crickets. While everyone's like, well, it's not meant to be funny.
Right, let's move on, boys.
So, next one, before we move, we might as well finish off the European stuff before we move on, I think, to the Premier League and that. You see the ref's headquarters in Spain was raided by the police after, as part of the Barcelona investigation, because they didn't turn over the documentation they asked for about, their dealings with Barcelona. I mean,
all right.
Fucking
No, I didn't hear about that.
2 wins. Oh, here we go. Oh, Darragh O'Connor. Who's that? That's a new one. Have we got a new? So I don't recognise. Yeah, high point of the last 2 years for Billy. They saying on the chat, 2 wins in your bag.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fair weather fans.
Europe it is now. We're looking at Europe. I'm telling you.
We're usually talking about winning the title at the end of September, so I suppose it's a step down. At least you're being a bit more realistic this time, I guess.
Yeah, I'm still got to get my new passport for Europe for next year, so I'll be going down to the passports office this week.
Do you have to get special passports at your age? You know, like with the medical requirements on them. You know.
No, not when you're fit as a fiddle like me. Do you know I'm alright?
Why? What kind of fiddle are you referring to? A tax fiddle? It's certainly not. Is this some Mashiri fiddle? You know, where he pretends he's worth billions. I see one of the Everton fans was claiming he was worth billions before, you know, without Usmanov and that. It's like, oh, come on. How?
He wants to throw 100 million back, doesn't he? Usmanov?
Well, it wasn't his money, was it, in the first place? We all know it's Usmanov's. He's got no money. He was just accounting, and Usmanov helped, you know, lent him some, you know, give him some money on the sly so he could buy Everton for him, so he could then walk away.
Yeah.
We all know that.
Yeah, I think that we all know that's the case, yeah.
Claiming he was worth 9 billion, I saw somebody say, and it's like, oh, give it a rest.
Yeah. Good money for an accountant. Yeah, really good money for an accountant.
It's not much of a fucking account. Why does my TV keep switching on the sound thing? Keeps thinking I'm talking to it. Why? What have I said that sounds like I'm talking to the TV? I don't know.
Gets me. I think if I sound fine.
So, anyway, should we talk about Everton while we're on this, or should we go? Or should we?
Yeah. Always.
Yeah, we'll just talk about some subjects this week because there's too much with the League Cup to just go through the games, isn't there?
Yeah.
So we'll talk about Everton. So what do you think now? Is this it? Is you back up and running, or is this, you know, is it still going to be a difficult run through?
It could be a false dawn. It could be a false dawn because people are saying, you know, two wins, you know, doesn't make a summer. But what they've done is the pressing game last night was absolutely superb for anyone who's seen the game. It was really good. Villa never had a chance, you know, to get into the game. They were always in their own half, getting closed down.
Excuse me, Villa reserves.
It was hardly Villa reserves. Yeah, they had a few players out. But we had a few players out as well. We only played half a side.
No,
the Corey never played.
I'm joking because that's what the Villa fans say. When, you know, it's the way fans always.
Oh, right, yeah.
You know, the minute the team loses, it's we only had the result.
Yeah.
We all do it.
We got that Brentford as well on Saturday. Yeah, we only had our reserves out.
Yeah.
And, well, we battered them as well.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if whoever they put out against you, that's all you can beat, isn't it?
Absolutely. But last night we were very good, Emma. There's still a lot of concerns over this 777 investment, though. We know the club need money, but these don't seem like the type of owners that I'd want as an Evertonian. You know, I certainly don't want Kenwright and Machete there either.
Caught between a rock and a hard place, ain't you, really?
Absolutely, you know, but this 777, they seem to buy clubs. You know, I think there's 7 or 8 now with Everton. And the Seville fans have been protesting against them. They reckon that they bought them and haven't invested a penny into the club, you know, player-wise. And their fans are up in arms over it. And it seems as though, I don't know what the actual score is with them. You know, what are they looking to do? Are they looking to move Everton forward? Or are they just buying a club to sell on? I really don't know. Do you know much about them, Trish?
Only what the fans are all saying. None of the other clubs that they own, the fans are happy. All of them seem to be protesting against them constantly.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. And
they're under investigation for fraud.
Yeah.
So that could be. That's an interesting.
They still haven't passed the test yet, have they? To the rightful owners, you know, to the Premier League and the UEFA they still haven't passed the proper test, have they?
You would have thought
As far
that
as
wouldn't
I
be an
know.
issue though, because like they don't seem to actually do any checking of anything, do they? Anyway,
No, I suppose you're right. I suppose you're right.
it just seems to
But
be a non-existent test, really, doesn't it?
yeah, yeah. But it's the same with Newcastle. Everyone was saying that Newcastle wouldn't get bought by when they were bought for the simple reason that they wouldn't pass the fit and proper test, and they did. So I can't see, as you say, a problem with 777.
Well, they said.
Not the owner's advice. Go on.
Well, with the
Go on, Trev.
the Saudis buying Newcastle, they promised the Premier League that that it was nothing to do with the Saudi government, that it'd be a separate entity and all that. But the guy running it's a Saudi government official, is as part of the Saudi government, is like and a prominent minister, and he's even said so in court when they were fighting with the over the Gulf. So they should have immediately been said, oh, hang on a sec, you're clearly not a fit and proper owner, you've failed the you've already you've clearly in breach of the agreements we made, and they should be telling them to sell it, but they're not done all about it. So
as you say, it's not. It doesn't seem to be working, does it? That test that they do.
No,
So,
I can't see that. I can't see that stopping them. I wonder if that's any. Does that go for minority stakes as well? Do they have to pass the fit and a proper person's test to get a minority stake as well? Just wondering with the FSG and the minority stake sell in Liverpool. I can't remember whether they have to go through one as well. Not that it really makes much difference. They're only going to pay down a bit of the debt, bank debt, like.
Yeah. Okay, to give them there's another crew who are still involved. Begins with M. I can't 3 letters, and I can't remember who they are.
MIP, or is that something else?
Or MSP, is it?
MSP, yes.
Yeah, they're funding the stadium to be finished, apparently, is what I've heard, and they're lending money to Everton to finish the stadium, which is, I'd sooner have them than 777, but, that's just me as a layman, who like, hears things about certain clubs, certain buyers, and nobody seems to fancy this 777.
Well, for me, I would think if I was the Premier League, I would say I'd want to know the result to this fraud. They're being under investigation for fraud. I'd want to know the result of that before I'd be able to pass them. That's how I'd look on it. Anyway, if it was me during the the Premier League, I'd be saying we can't pass you until this is until this is resolved. Sorry, but it doesn't matter whether you're innocent or guilty. The fact is, while you've got this hanging over your head, we need to know whether it's whether it's right or not. And if you're innocent,
I'd agree with that.
What's the issue?
But why are these things like the Man City one and Everton? Why is it taking so long for them to come up with a decision? Is it the club stalling? Is it City and Everton stalling while they're trying to, lose it in the paper trail? I don't know. But, City should be investigated, definitely. Everton should be. If they've done wrong, Everton deserve all they get.
That's next week, yours, isn't it?
Yeah, it's supposed to be, but these get deferred. Things are getting deferred. It was supposed to be last year. And it just got deferred. I think they're trying to lose them in the paper trail, as I say. That's how it's happening with City. And Everton have said that they've done nothing wrong as far as they're aware. Well, that means nothing, does it? That means absolutely nothing.
It's like Usmanov. He made his money perfectly legally, honestly. Because that's how you do it in Russia when when these oligarchs stepped in. They all did it perfectly legally. The fact that they're all Russian mafia heads and that,
nothing to do with it.
Yeah, and Spetsnaz and all that. It's hard to do with they haven't really killed anyone or done anything to get there. They've just they've just bought the right things at the right time. Yeah, my ass. Yeah.
I couldn't believe on some of the threads on the Everton site that people were calling for Dyche's head after the Arsenal performance, which was terrible performance by him. But some of the supporters were calling for his head. You know, should never have been appointed. Get rid of him now. He's a hit and rush sort of manager. What do we want, Burnley? Someone who took Burnley down. And I was flabbergasted by some of the Everton comments, actually. You know, and not just on our website, but on other websites, Toffee Web and things like that, NSNO. People were saying, you know, we've got to get rid of Dyche. The man hasn't had a chance yet. You know, what you do, sack him, get someone else in, and pay Sean Dyche off. I'm just ludicrous that managers don't get a chance.
Who would they have brought in? What, Frank Lampard's still available?
Yeah, I know Frank is, yeah. He's going to be available all the time.
Yeah, that's one thing you don't have to worry about, is Frank Lampard won't be off the market anytime soon. It's not even the Saudis, when they were throwing money around, thought, you know who we could get there? Sir, Frank Lampard's available.
Yeah, but I couldn't believe some of the responses from so-called Everton supporters anyway, that you know, to get rid of Dyche. I don't think he's done anything wrong. Some of the football has been good, some of it not so good. But the man's hands are tied behind his back, you know, trying to get players in. Okay, we bought Beto, Danjuma, got a couple of players in that we needed, should have been done earlier. And that's why we got off to a bad start. We never had a forward. We battered Fulham and lost at home, first game of the season. Same with another game we had. Battered them again, I think it was Wolves, and got beat. You know,
I think it was Wolves.
And, you know, you've got to feel for Sean Dyche and say, you know, give the man some money, give him a couple of players. And he's always wanted forwards. And the football's been dire because our midfield's not good enough at the moment. The likes Gay, Onana, he dropped Garner for some apparent reason, why I couldn't tell you, for the last game against Arsenal. And he hasn't really had a chance to make the side his own yet. I think you've got to stick with him for at least the full season. Because the last two results, now he's the best thing since sliced bread on all the forums. Because we've won 2 games away from home and played really well in the 2 games.
Surely you're not suggesting Everton fans are fickle? Billy.
Oh, yes, I am, yeah. Only as fickle as all the other ones.
That. Everton
Only as fickle as Liverpool supporters, by the way. Who were calling for they were calling for Curtis Jones to be thrown out of the club last year. And now he's one of your better players. I know you were interested. I know you've always been a fan of his. I'm not his biggest fan, I'll be honest with you. But he's a young lad. And he's a local lad, which helps. I think it helps. And, you know, I like to see the young lads coming through from any club. And he's done quite well. This season, he's been one of your better performers, actually. Yeah. You know, and
if Szoboszlai was in the team, we'd be raving about him. But Szoboszlai's there, and it's, you know, everyone else seems a bit like mediocre. Even Salah's struggling to stand out now. That's how good Szoboszlai's been.
He's been an excellent sign up to now, hasn't he? He's really impressed with him, I must say. Liverpool got off to a fantastic start. I think I was the only one out of all our predictions I done Liverpool to be second in the league. I think you were all looking at 5th, maybe 6th. I think Liverpool have got a damn good chance because this season, for the simple reason that I don't think City are all that. And they've lost De Bruyne till after Christmas by the looks of it. And they lost Rodri to a suspension now. And they are the two main men of that team. Whatever you say about the other good players, they are the two main men. And I think Liverpool have got a decent shout of winning the league this year.
What do you
Hopefully
think?
not, but
What do you think, Seamus? Do you think they've got a chance? Are they title contenders this season?
I think it's looking like Liverpool are gradually getting up to grips, getting up to speed with the team. The team's settling, so I think it's a good shout that they're gonna be one of the title chasers. But I would still say like City are favorites. Sadly, they are the favorites.
yeah.
Actually, though, Bill, you raised a good point now when you were talking about Jones, everyone wanting him out. I've got to say, this is one thing I wanted to talk about, is the recent way everyone has to have a scapegoat now. You know, every team seems to have. There's always a player that the fans immediately, doesn't matter how well they play in that game, if the team doesn't win and win by 18 goals to nil, they're always at fault for every little thing. I mean, it's Joe Gomez at the moment.
Absolutely.
At Man United, it's been Rashford. They've just been on him, and it's him. It's always his fault. He's too lazy. He's not doing enough. He might be the only player scoring goals, but he's not good enough, apparently. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what he does. I'm sure Everton have got someone there. I don't know who.
Yeah. We've got loads.
But there's always... Well, why do fans need...
But it's nothing new, Tris, is it? It's nothing new. It goes back... I can go back as far as Ronnie Whelan, who I think done a great job for Liverpool, I must admit. And you know, all the supporters were on his case every week, Ronnie Whelan's. And I thought he was a marvellous player. Yeah, I thought he was a marvellous player, Ronnie Whelan. Very understated, you know, for what he'd done for the team, the work rate of him. He was never injured. He was there week in, week out. And all Liverpool supporters were saying, what's he doing in the team? What's he doing in the team? And I was actually flabbergasted. I think he's a damn good player, you know what I mean? So, you know, you're going back to the 80s that this has started. But as you say, they're always looking for a scapegoat. You know, and now at Liverpool, as you say, it's Joe Gomez. It was Curtis Jones last year. Get them out the club. You know, let's sell them. Honestly, God, talk about fickle. You were talking about people being fickle before, and every club's got them.
Yeah. But it's just been shocking to me, because I've been reading it. I mean, you know, Jones, one thing, he's a young lad coming through and, like, you know, being on his back. Trent Alexander-Arnold, for some reasons, being the other one. Another one as well is Joe Gomez. Both have won fucking Premier League, won everything with the club, yet they're still, you know, the target for abuse every time anything goes wrong. I don't get it. And Rashford's another one. Why are they, I mean, he's probably been, you know, United's saviour on more than one occasion. He's a good lad off the pitch, yet people are questioning his attitude. I just, you know, it's none of it makes sense. It's not like they're targeting them for playing badly on the pitch. They're making, you know, what they've actually doing. They're literally, people are making things up in their heads and lying about what these people are doing, and claiming things that simply aren't true. Like about Rashford, they say, you know, he's not really that nice a lad and all this, you know, and he's not working hard for this. And you're thinking, fuck, it is. I've watched you play, and I've watched him, you know, saying he doesn't track back, and I've watched him track back and win the ball back. So it's barefaced lie to say he's not a nice lad who's doing things for the community and that. You know what I mean? It's just, I just do not understand why these things go. Why people do this about their own players. You know what happened?
What do you think it's about the Rashford situation with the supporters? Because he's not the most liked. What I can find out from United supporters. Why, I don't know.
Because that's his playing style. He tends to try and dribble past players and take a shot. When it goes right for him, he ends up scoring 20 plus goals. When it doesn't go right for him, then it seems like he doesn't want to pass the ball to anyone and is playing for himself only.
Yeah,
but you have to understand.
as well.
Yeah, exactly. That happened with Salah as well for me for more than a year or two actually.
Yeah.
Like even when he was scoring 20 plus goals, people were saying like he doesn't pass the ball, but
No, even
if
though
he
he had more
passes, no.
assists than Mane, and people were saying Mane did. I mean, how does that work?
And also like if he just is always passing, then
How's
that
he
also
scoring?
takes away the goals. Yeah.
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 Yeah, but it does seem like, I mean, they're talking about they want Garnacho in as the latest one instead of him. I mean, how does would you choose Garnacho over Rashford?
No, I think our team needs Rashford in there because I've not seen Garnacho impress much when he starts the game.
Mm.
He's a young lad, so I'm not going to criticize him much for it. But I think he's not ready to be a starter week in week out.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
And if Garnacho is to play, he can play from the right.
Yeah, but Garnacho's now. He was brilliant against Palace reserves, according to all the people who hate Rashford. Apparently, he was brilliant, but all the ones who did, yeah, Doc's just noticed the name, the Coconut Shy edition. I couldn't resist. Oh yeah, sorry. What was this? Yeah, it just seems like they're making up things in their head about how great Garnacho plays. Yeah.
No, he can play. He can play
watched-
great. He can play great. It doesn't mean like if you think Rashford should be starting, it doesn't mean Garnacho is all of a sudden useless and should be sold or anything. But that's what the squad is there for. When one player isn't maybe scoring the goals, maybe sometimes it's just luck as well,
Mm.
and it can be.
But
Yeah.
I watched you against Palace reserves, and they were.
Why?
awful players.
Why? Even I think
I was struggling to sleep, and honestly, this is no word of a lie. I watched the first half. Second half started, and within 5 minutes of it starting, I was like for the rest, missed the rest of the game. So I gotta say, I only watched the first half in essence because I fell asleep at half, pretty much straight after half time. It was it was such a tedious game, but like it was the only game on, so it wasn't like I got a lot of choice. But yeah, what I saw, he wasn't even any good. This is the thing I don't understand. If he'd been sensational, I could have understood the call. Let's get him in instead of Rashford. I could have understood if he comes, if a player comes in and he's brilliant. I get this, why you'd want to say, well, let's give Rashford a break or something. But he's not really, he's not working out at the moment. Yeah, I mean, he hopefully will do because he's a young lad and hopefully he'll improve and come good. But
no, he seems to have the raw ingredients. Like he has a good base. His touch can be iffy, but he's all in all got a good, decent touch. He's got, but he just looks like a young player who's just learning his way around the men's football.
Yeah.
And he'll do that best by coming on as substitute instead, by playing on the other side from Rashford rather than replacing him. I just don't understand why is Rashford so disliked though? Why is it?
I don't know. I think it's just the way he is. Like he is a bit stroopy when it doesn't go for him.
But he
just,
doesn't.
No, some players just like they are just loved by supporters. There's one guy who Erik ten Hag doesn't want to speak of anymore, who is loved by people, despite never actually having done anything like that brilliant for the club. I just don't understand how it works. Maybe I think it's also to do with the fact that the young players that were brought in from another club at an early age, or the players that comes through the ranks. Maybe it's just because they don't have a price tag hanging over their head. People think like
it's
they're
not
not
big
that
money
great.
signing, so that's so that people just love the shiny new signing, don't they?
Yeah, they do, yeah.
Look, even with Liverpool, Jota, he scores goals, but he is like at times like It's like playing with 10 men. But people don't have any issue with him. But if Jones misplaces a pass, then people want him to be short. Maybe it's maybe it's just because you don't know how much the player is valued at.
Yeah, maybe it's just because they're not a big money signing, so you don't, you know, it's not as exciting on FIFA and that, is it? Your FIFA game or Football Manager when you see, you know, when you've got them in your team. They're probably not highly rated in them. It's in the games, so that's what people get pissed off about. That's the only thing I can think of, because it's some of it. I mean, it's just, I don't get it. I mean, you know, some of the players.
So much cruel as well. So much cruel what they write about them and what gets said online about people, especially online, and that's why I'm not a social media guy. But you know,
that's not why you're not a social media guy. it's too complex for you.
He can't even switch on a pair of headphones, Bill. I don't think social media.
You do make a funny point there, I must admit. No, I think it's harsh on some of them now. But as Chris was saying before, everyone's looking for a scapegoat of why, you know. Why people are looking for a scapegoat at Liverpool, I just don't know, because they've got off to a fantastic start, but there's always going to be a scapegoat, and that's the way people work these days, I suppose.
That's very true. Sadly.
Yeah, and you'd think with it being a local player, you'd think they'd give him a bit more leeway. Should I say, you know, you want the next Robbie Fowler coming through, don't you, from your young players coming through, and players, you know, who have made the grade, like your Steven Gerrards and that. And you want players like that, local lads who you can actually think of, you know, to aspire to, you know, for someone younger than they. But it's not working out for Jones at the moment. It might do. He's been getting a couple of rave reviews actually lately for how well he's done, and all power to the guy. You know what I mean? He's as I say, I've never been his biggest fan in the past. Thought he's done okay, but he's had quite a few injuries, and sometimes he hasn't affected the game possibly as much as he is this season. But he's only young.
I think it's the opposite now. People don't seem to want the signings. Like Doc was saying on there, he's saying it's because the price on FIFA and that is, you know, they get, you know, because they've been signed for big money and that. Like like people criticise the Endo signing, none of them had even seen him freaking play. So how can they say he's a shit signing? But he wasn't £50 million, so he must be shite. I mean, how can he be any good? He's only 10 million. But these are the same people that are then saying, why are we paying? You know, why can't we buy these players that Brighton signed before they're worth 10 million? Why can't we find them before them? And those ones, they're the ones that had abused them if they came anyway.
Yeah, fickle, really fickle.
It is really odd though, because I mean, it does seem to be the kids coming through that are getting the abuse, and they're the ones that surely the fans should be backing most of all. Especially someone like Rashford, in particular, and Trent as well is the other one that really I don't understand it. They do so much charity work, an enormous amount of charity work, those two between them. I mean, Trent's involved. He set up personally, helped his best friend's mother set up a charity that she, is it 10 minutes a day or something, where people just give 10 minutes a day to a charity work or something like that. I forget what it's called. And he's set that, he put his personal money in to get it set up and going, and he's, used himself to do it. He's the one that's always in all the video. Whenever there's somebody has to go to visit a hospital or a sick kid or somebody, anything like that, it's always Alexander Arnold that says, "I'll do it." That's why he's always featured in the videos on the channel, the club channel, because he's always the one who puts himself in there. And you're saying with Rashford, he's the one that's going out and putting himself, giving his personal money to help people, with his school dinners and all this, putting himself out there and having his say on it and getting involved and trying to help people. And
but he's had some abuse as well, hasn't he? Rashford over. Why isn't he? He's concentrating too much on trying to provide school meals than he is on playing football. That's actually been said.
I've seen that many times.
That's actually been said by United supporters, yeah.
Surely that's the kind of person that you should want representing your club. That's what I was thinking.
You would think so. You would think so, Trev, yeah.
They're the ones that I'd look at and say, I want you at my club. If I was going to sign one player from Man United, any player, doesn't matter how good Højlund turns out to be, only one I'd be wanting to take, it'd be Rashford. He'd be the first and first choice I'd be looking at, because he's got the right personality, the right attitude, he represents the club in the right way, and he's a good player as well. On top of it, but no, I don't want my players off the pitch. I don't want them going out and getting going out and getting high or getting going out partying like Klein or whatever it is. Who was the one that used to jet off with it? Was it Klein that used to jet all the models off to islands? Whenever he's out injured for a month and then he's jetting, he's off to a desert island with a bunch of Instagram models for sex parties and that. You're thinking, you should be recovering, not pissing about, and getting bevied like. But he never gets any criticism. People like that never get criticism, whereas people like Rashford do. It's bizarre. In the past, if people did this, we're working for Jet and helping out and getting involved and stuff, they were the players that used to get worshipped by the fans. Why are they now suddenly become the targets?
It's modern day society, I think, Chris. People are very fickle. People are only interested in what they can do for them or their team. They're not interested in what they do for other people. It's being selfish. It's the modern day society, I'm afraid.
Yeah, I mean, they'll defend anything if it's at their club. It doesn't matter what they do, so long as they're in their colours. That's why people defend people like Luis Suarez at Liverpool, Mason Greenwood at Man United, Anthony at Man United. They'll defend them no matter what.
Yeah, they will, yeah. And it's, as I say, I just think it's modern day society. That's probably maybe an analysis, but yeah, it's different these days to what it was. For worse than what it was years ago.
You must miss the days before phones were invented, Bill? And that,
Yeah, that was before mobile phones, anyway.
No, is it true that when Alexander Graham Bell invented the telephone, he had 2 missed calls from you?
It could have been. It's been said before that about me.
All right, Napoli have just released a statement. Napoli apparently their statement didn't apologise to Osimhen. Just said we didn't mean to offend you, but that's it. No, we did talk about Napoli and Osimhen, but that's why the title was Coconut Shy. So, but yeah, we did talk about it earlier, but yeah, no, we didn't mention their statement. So where were we up to? What were we talking about? Sorry, I've got distracted then, thinking about you.
Well, we started on Napoli and then went off at a tangent, didn't we?
Yeah, well, I was just thinking how different the world must be now to you. I mean, you grew up in the days before cars and phones, and, before people had houses, and it was all cave dwelling and stuff like that. I mean, you've seen so much change over the years.
I think that's a big exaggeration. But I'll tell you what I did grow up in. I grew up in a society where football wasn't everything, and you used to go and support your team and back your players, and it's not like that no more. I know I sound like a really old man here, but I am an old man.
You are a really old man.
Yeah, but going away to games and all that, when I was a lot younger, I'm talking about, you know what I mean? I'm not talking about the 80s, I'm talking about before that. And, yeah, and football what didn't mean as much to people. It was a working class game, and not everything depended on football. And now, with the money that's involved, and I think that's one of the biggest parts of it, the money that's involved in the game, and especially with things like Sky TV and that, you know, people not eating but still getting Sky on the telly, you know what I mean? It's not being able to afford to heat or eat. And football is just over the top now for me. I don't think it's the greatest game to watch. Although I'm watching Everton, I'm watching football. I've lost my love for the game a bit, I must admit.
So it's not as good as as the days when it was just villages gathering together to fight the ball into the batter.
Kicking a pig's bladder all over the field.
Yeah. But
that's it.
Wasn't it Henry VIII that actually banned football because it was so violent? It was. I think it was.
I wasn't around.
I was asking you because I thought you'd remember it.
I would have thought it was because of one of the tackles that Billy made.
Go on, mate.
Yeah, I think so.
You're not going to go me again.
Billy, are you older or are you younger than Santiago Bernabeu, Real Madrid Stadium?
I was born 58, so when was the Bernabeu?
17.
No, I think the answer is quite simple. Are you older or younger than Roy Hodgson? Because last week I gave Chris this fact that Roy Hodgson is older than Santiago Bernabeu Stadium.
That's fantastic, that, isn't it? I know. And he does.
He's been a good footballer, man. Good football man, Roy Hodgson.
But he always.
I've got a lot of respect for him.
Doesn't he? He always looks like. You remember when your granddad was really old and he doesn't remember who you are? He has that kind of look, and every time he's interviewed, it's like he's like, "Oh, me? You're talking to me? Oh, right."
Yeah. I need a good football man, Roy Hodgson. I like managers like him. I know he never done great at Liverpool. He had a bad time at Liverpool. But in his career, I think he's done really well. And just because he's old, usually a bit ageist, see. And he's have a go with some other people. They're not doing great on Papa Salah. He's not doing great at the moment. Well, you never know. He might come back.
Palace are one of those clubs where they've just not got the money to actually buy. You know, they're always going to be inconsistent because an injury, one player loses form, and it's they're weakened so considerably that it cost them badly. I mean, they had to put out their reserves against United, and you could see they just looked half a side.
Yeah. Talking about managers, I've been quite impressed by the Tottenham manager, Postecoglou. He's
good Liverpool
supporter. I didn't expect him to be as good as this. That might be because I always say, coming from Scottish football, I always think it's not the greatest standard. But he's done really well for Spurs, and they look a different side. Are they missing Harry Kane? I don't think so. I think he was too big for Scotland. Yeah, I do.
As a team,
I think they play more as a team. Yeah.
I like Postecoglou, and I did say, I was really looking forward to him coming into it.
Yeah, I know you did. Yeah, remember you saying at the start of the season for us.
No, I mean, before that, when he went to Celtic, I remember talking about, to the Celtic fans, didn't even know who he was, and I'd done a manager profile on him, and he.
Just take a few seconds out, boys. Just got a call at the door.
Oh. Are you still there, Seamus? Because you're very quiet, Mr. Luckender.
Well, they say two's company, three's.
You mean you were busy playing chess and ignoring us, as usual? I tell you what. We're talking about Rashford and you didn't get involved. Oh, you should have been the man jumping in.
It's amazing. We went home the weekend.
It's not Billy we can still hear. Shall I mute him now? Shall I mute him for a bit? But then we don't know when he's back, do we? I'll just turn his volume down, I think. Sorry everyone. Billy's, at least we can hear him for a change, but I'll turn his sound down a bit because he's... So we can still hear him when he comes back. There we go. Right, sorry, where were we? Sorry about that. Tech issues, so sometimes I wondered if it's better when you can't hear us.
Right, I'm back.
Oh right, I'll turn you back up again then. I turned your volume down because we could hear you talking.
All right, so it's just a man called with me wages, that's all. So
Calling with your wages? Oh,
yeah.
Oh, how much have we got?
Oh, we got a couple of bob, like, but I don't work on a Friday, see. I don't work Fridays, I don't work Mondays.
Case you're not doing well. If you can avoid it, just do 3 days a week. Bloody hell.
Yeah, but
I'll get my pension next year. So there you go.
Doesn't work. Trees also doesn't work. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Wednesday, Saturday, Sunday.
I have to work putting up with you three.
Did you call me Billy Geldof? Because I don't like Mondays. I really don't. So don't even go in on a Monday.
Oh, that's a bad joke. Oh, where's the soundboard? That needs it. How do you do? No, I can't find you that one. There we go. That's got to have one of them on it.
I do like the sound effects, I do like that.
I didn't even know they were there. I don't know how long they've been there on Discord, but they're quite useful. It saved me a bit of... I was thinking about buying one of those soundboard things, but don't need one now. So where were we anyway? Because I got Seamus to talk and he just basically didn't say anything. So he's playing chess, isn't he? That's the thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we should. Yeah, he said they're saying on the chat about it was nice having Mrs. Billy as special guest today. they want to know what she thinks of Ange Postecoglou.
Oh, she likes him.
Get her on. Get her on. Get her to talk. She's got to know more about football than you, Bill.
She knows a lot about decorating. Me decorating rooms. Yeah. That's what she knows about. That's a favourite pastime.
So what team does she support?
She's a Liverpool supporter.
Oh yeah, she's much better. Get her on. Let's have her on instead.
And me two lads are both mad Liverpool supporters. I'm the only Evertonian in the family. Actually.
Yeah, I wonder why. Yeah, can't think why.
No wonder they all hate me.
I always laugh. Caran always says the only reason she supported Everton was because they kept losing and she felt sorry for them. That's honest truth, that is. She felt bad for them. Liverpool were always winning, obviously, and everyone else in the families are red. You know, all the other siblings were reds. So she just wanted to be different and just wanted to, go for the underdog that kept losing because she felt sorry for them. But she's the kind of person that when she goes out, she comes home with random stray cats and dogs that were, because they were sad and left lonely, so she'll come home and feed them and stuff. She's one of them.
A proper Evertonian, yeah.
Yeah, she likes a lame duck, That's why she supports Everton.
Yeah, we haven't been lame for two games though, have we? We're back. The boys are back.
So does Mrs. Bill think you're going to win the title this season? Everton, I mean.
No. all she says to me when I'm watching the game, she'll pop her head in and say, "Are they losing again?" That's all she says.
Oh, I like Mrs.
Because you could hear the swearing coming from the bedroom where I watch the matches, and yeah, she can hear the swearing going on. So
I have to.
She chastises me.
Yeah, I have to keep the noise down now because there's people moved in next door. So I met him and I was so embarrassed because I was thinking, shit, I'd been screaming at the TV and I was thinking, shit, this is like 3-4 o'clock in the morning, obviously here. So I was thinking, oh god. What was they thinking when she said, "Oh, you live there?" And I thought, "Oh shit, she's just getting quick before she starts giving me a mulligan." They do complain about noise a lot here, to be honest. Anyway, so all the chat, and we got like a group Viber thing, and all it is mostly people moaning about noise. Though, as you've seen, the translation's a bit iffy because basically mostly it doesn't translate well, does it? No,
it's repeatable.
Yeah, we're all in the same boat though, so it's okay. Sorry for those who the translations are just appalling. They just make no sense. Anyway, what were we? Sorry, what were we discussing?
We were talking about Postecoglou, weren't we? We're talking about how well he'd done, and we all thought that Harry Kane was going to be a big miss. Well, I certainly did, and so did a lot of other people for Spurs. But to be fair, they've got off to a really good start, and Son looks reborn, doesn't he? Even though he's not playing in the place I would actually play him, but who am I to tell Postecoglou what to do? I prefer him in the centre and Richarlison on the left myself, but they are doing well. And
they swapped over.
And the whole team looks rejuvenated. Go on, what, mate?
Didn't he swap them over for recent games? He
started.
I thought he'd swapped them. It might be just Son seemed to be playing through the middle. What I saw, but I've only watched highlights, so it's difficult to be sure because their games always.
I like him through the middle.
Yeah,
I do like him through the middle. I think he's a marvellous player, Son. I know you wanted him a couple of years ago. Trish, you were a big fan of his.
Before Spurs signed him, I was desperately hoping we'd sign him. He was one of those ones, one of many that I caught. It always seemed to be the way. Whoever I called for, we just had no interest in. Until Alisson was the first. I think Alisson might have been the first. Well, Bobby Firmino, I think, might have been the first. One of the only ones.
Yeah. And I know you wanted Bellingham. I think he's a marvellous player. I think he's a generational talent.
Yeah, he's going to be doing all right.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm not saying he isn't.
I'm not even.
I've never heard of him. I'll be honest with you.
I'm not even sure if he hasn't been a better signing than Bellingham would have been, to be honest. And that's saying something because I still think Bellingham is a fabulous player, probably the best midfielder in the world. But I think Szoboszlai might be better suited to what Liverpool needed. His work rate is insane. He covers 1 kilometre more per game than Milner did. I mean, and Henderson and players like that, they used to be known for their work rate. He's covering 1 kilometre more. He clocked the second fastest speed ever in Premier League history. He
tracking back
goals.
He did that tracking back.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's insane. Nobody does that tracking back. Players just don't work that hard tracking back except him. I mean, he has been absolutely magnificent.
Are you a fan, Peach? Fan of Szoboszlai?
Been one for quite a few years actually.
I can back.
I was suspect whether he'd succeed in a midfield like a number 8 role. I thought he would transition from a winger into a number 10, but he's been absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, Deeps has been talking him up for. It's one of the main reasons why I was so excited when we signed him. And I was really excited about his signing. was because of the way Deeps have been talking him up for years now. A couple of years he's been telling us how great he strikes the ball and stuff, and how he reminded him of Cristiano Ronaldo's striking technique and stuff. He's actually, he's just insanely good, isn't he? And he fits in so well with the lads as well. You know what I mean? He fits in with the team. You know,
I like the way he plays with a smile on his face as well. You know, he never seems to get ruffled, and you know, he always seems like a really nice sort of guy to me. What I've seen of him, and I think you've got a real gem there, a bit of a gem.
And everybody who works with him, like, one thing they always mention is how smart he is. The footballing IQ he has always brought up.
And he's a leader as well. That's another thing. I mean, he's captain of Hungary and has been for a while. It's not like he's just got made captain of Hungary because he's moved to Liverpool for 80 million. He was captain of Hungary when we bought him. You know, he's not like, this is a talent. And it doesn't half strike a ball lovely like last night. What a fit! I mean, you don't pick that, you don't stop them. It doesn't matter if your goalkeeper gets his hands to it; it just goes through them.
You can have two goalkeepers. You can have two goalkeepers, one going either way. But...
yeah, even if you'd got Alisson in goal, that's how I look on it. The best keeper in the world. Even if Alisson was in there, I wouldn't expect.
But he's not. No, Alisson isn't the best keeper in the world. You can just look at the Ballon d'Or rankings.
Oh yeah, he's not even in the top 10, is he?
Yeah.
How ridiculous is that? I did ask Seamus this a couple of weeks ago, didn't I? I asked you to name 10 better goalkeepers, and we could, we were struggling to name 10 better goalkeepers in history, let alone in...
The thing with, and the most confusing thing with this is, like, I don't think there's anyone who watches football who doesn't have Alisson at least in the top 3, and a lot of people actually like have him as their best goalkeeper.
Well, I'm not saying he's the best, but I'd say he's in the top 1. That's for sure.
Yeah.
No, you can argue like this player or that player had a better season last year, but it's not like Alisson had a horrible campaign either. Like,
he
was very good. Like,
season. If we hadn't had Alisson last season,
he must have earned 15 points.
European. Yeah, there was nowhere near European football without him. It wouldn't matter who you put in goal instead of him. Liverpool are not in the top. Liverpool are not in Europe next season without him. No other goalkeeper.
He's worth 15 points a season at least. I'd say. And he's been a great signer for Liverpool. Great signer.
Can you name 10 better goalkeepers then, Bill? Because you're the one that you could name 20 better left backs than Robertson when he was there.
Yeah, of course. In history, I've said you can't.
I think Billy can name one.
I doubt he could remember more than one. To be fair,
no, Mr. T-Rex himself.
Jordan Pickford. Yeah, I don't think even Jordan Pickford's mum thinks he's better than Alisson. To be fair,
he's still top 5. Jordan's still top 5. Whether you like him or hate him.
What do you mean?
Top 5 in the country, in the English Premier League.
Maybe in the
still for me, top 5.
Maybe.
No, he's good.
Okay. Let's do a quick top 5 then. Let's see if he actually
top 5.
He doesn't, but
Alisson number 1.
Okay.
Ederson number 2. I like the lad from Villa. I like him.
Vicario. His name is at Spurs. Has to be in the top 3.
Guglielmo Vicario.
Yeah. I haven't seen enough of him, to be honest with you. I haven't seen enough of him.
He's been fantastic.
I haven't seen enough of him.
I actually have
seen the lad who I hate, the Argentine goalie. I don't like him, but he's a damn good keeper.
Villa, yeah. It's alright.
It's alright. He's not damn good. He's alright. His antics make him seem like...
Yeah. And then it's Jordan Pickford, I think. I can't think of any better. Pope is hopeless. Arsenal's 2, even with the new guy, hopeless. I can't think of many that I'd want to swap for Jordan Pickford. There you go.
Interesting, because I still wouldn't have him in the top 5, but personally. I'd rather have Raya.
Well, it's all subjective. Raya's not for me, really.
No, I don't think he's very good, but I think he's better than Pickford, which is more about how bad I think Pickford is than how good he.
Oh, right,
is.
okay. Yeah, it's subjective, isn't it? You know, you tend to think of look at the bad points of goalies a lot of the time, and he has got weak points, but he's got some really good points as well. And that's why he is England's #1. He's a great shot stopper.
But he is.
He is.
He
is a good shot stopper. You know.
So many shots he should have saved if he was just positioned anywhere near. Right, his position.
I'm not saying he's Alisson. He's not Alisson.
He's saving good. You know, he's making good saves.
You've been spoilt with Alisson because he's so far ahead of the others.
I can see that, but
and so you look for things that you think. Or he should have saved that because Alisson would have been in a better position because he wouldn't have been dragged out that wide, or he'd be in the centre of his goal and just catch the ball rather than going to the left and diving to his right. And I can see your point, but you have been spoilt with Alisson because he's miles ahead of the other keepers. But Pickford is not a bad keeper for me.
Big question: Onana or Pickford?
Pickford every day. Onana's an accident waiting to happen. I think he's a terrible keeper.
See, I'd have to.
I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen anything that makes me think different. I haven't seen a great deal of him, but what I've seen of him, he's not a good keeper.
No, he's not a great keeper either. He's not been good at all. I don't understand why they bought him. Actually, someone just was saying we got mentioning the Michail Antonio thing. Did you? I don't know if you were. Did you see the before West Ham played Liverpool? He does a podcast every week. Michail Antonio. I don't know if you've seen it. He does this footballers football. Or is it a radio show or podcast? I can't remember. With Callum Wilson of Newcastle. They're on every week, and on it before the Liverpool played West Ham, he was saying now West Ham are going to beat Liverpool and they're going to finish above them in the league. You know, there's no contest. They're a much better side. All these things. Obviously, they got absolutely trounced against Liverpool. I mean, they were battered. So, what happens the following week when the podcast comes around, or radio show, whatever it is? No sign of Michail Antonio. They couldn't get hold of him. He had his phone switched off and everything. He wouldn't answer the phone or anything. They said they just ripped into him for the entire show, basically. Yeah, he didn't turn up, and they just So Callum Wilson was just saying, yeah, I wouldn't have come on if I was him either. They were saying, yeah, but he's probably away because obviously they were playing away. He's probably away in a hotel, and they're saying, yeah, well, he's got a mobile phone. If they'd have, if Liverpool had got beaten by West Ham, you guarantee he'd have made sure to have his mobile phone to hand and be on the call, wouldn't he? But, conveniently, he wasn't available. Strange, that, isn't it?
Right, I think we should have a little look back to last week's games, the league games, and how we think teams done. Because you just mentioned Liverpool.
Hang on, Billy.
Go on, mate.
Do you want us to have a look back at all the games or just that one particular game?
No, all the games. Tell me what you thought if you watched them. Because you don't even watch Man United.
Yeah, he does. He's the luck ender though, isn't he? So he can't watch him.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
Well, if I watch, we lose. If I don't watch, we lose. I don't know what I do.
Just watch him. You may as well just at least get the pleasure of watching. Well, if you can call it.
But there is no pleasure in watching us lose.
Yeah, and there's no pleasure in watching you anyway because you're playing football.
But at least if I don't watch, then when people try and start the conversation, I can just say I didn't watch it and end the conversation.
But you won this week.
And I choose watch now. I'm not gonna watch anymore, anyways.
great goal from Fernando. Anyway, should we just start at the top? We'll start at the first one. Crystal Palace Fulham. I didn't see it, and I can't say I probably missed anything worth worrying about because it was 0-0.
I was just gonna say I didn't even know what the scoreline was.
Yeah,
I would have just
it's better not to know.
Yeah, two pretty dour teams at the moment. I don't think any of them have got much about them personally. I know they beat Everton first game of the season, Fulham, but I don't think they're going to frighten anyone. I don't think they're going to take points off any of the top teams. A bit wishy-washy for me, and I think Roy's having a bit of a struggle with Palace. But what I've seen with them, they've got a couple of good players, Eze. A couple of good players, but looking to survive more than to get up towards Europa League. I'd say.
It's not, like I said, they just don't have the money to invest in building a squad. So
that's fair enough. Yeah.
Anytime any player suffers a loss of form or injuries hit them or anything like that, they're going to lose. Their form's going to go out the window and they're going to struggle. It's just the way it is with these smaller clubs.
I agree with that. Yeah.
But they did, they're not going to be fighting to relegation at the end of the season. Whereas Fulham, they're an awful side. I know they beat you, but they were absolutely hammered. I mean, how you didn't win, I don't know. So
never had a forward, see.
Maybe luck is what's going to keep them up, but they're a terrible side. Anyway, so we didn't see, nobody saw it, so we'll move on. Luton Town, 1-1. I mean, if you're Wolves, that's a worrying sign.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because Luton look well out of their depth, don't they?
Oh, they're the worst team I can think of. There's always one that you look at, you think they're miles below the rest, isn't there? Every season, and they're it. They're terrible.
They got beat by Exeter midweek and still never scored a goal. They're awful to me, Luton. If anyone, we have a bet each year, 3 teams to go down. Everyone, and I mean everyone, picked Luton this year because they've got nothing about them. Nothing about them that you could say, they could get a couple of home wins, or they could, trouble a couple. They're not going to trouble anyone, are they? Even the bad side.
It was a shocking result that they managed to get a draw against Wolves. That just shows how bad Wolves are.
Yeah.
It's just surprising.
Yeah, they look well out of the depth, I'm afraid, for the Luton fans. Any Luton fans listening? Sorry, but they're going down.
I don't think Luton fans. We have had 12 people listening at once at one point, which is, I think, is a record for us.
Is it? That is a record.
Double figures. I mean, I don't think we've ever had that before.
And we can get Nicola Antonio next week. We can get 14.
Yeah, well, ask him if he wants to talk about his claims of finishing above Liverpool.
Yeah. Go on, next game.
What's the next game? Was Man City Forest. I did watch bits of this. It was you only watched a little bit, and Forest just sat back and got rolled over. Basically, they were just completely outdone. They were just, City were on another level to them, and they tried to defend, and it didn't work. And then somebody came, I forgot, Rodri got sent off for the foul, and it was like a different, Forest actually came out and played and gave them a good game. You just wonder
you can thank me for that.
Go on, Keeps.
For that.
You put Rodri in your...
Yeah.
You put him in your fantasy football team. Nice work, mate. Nice work. Can you not just put all 11 City players in there?
I can only max out at 3.
That's stupid. That's ridiculous. You could win as the title if you just fill it with City players, couldn't you? You could guarantee somebody other than City will win anyway. But yeah, the Forest do look a lot better than last.
He hardly gets booked.
No,
I
never.
put him in the team. He gets a red card, straight red.
That's what I was thinking is, well, what's he done? Decapitated someone, and apparently it was a bit of a. I didn't actually see the incident, but apparently Morgan Gibbs White made the most of it, should we say? Went down like he, really made sure that the ref spotted it. But like, still, it's
Yeah, but he
surprising.
grabbed his throat.
Yeah, he grabbed him by the
Casemiro
throat. He has to go.
Casemiro got done for something similar.
Oh, yeah.
That was a bit silly. But I've got to say, I'm a massive fan of Rodri. I think he's a fantastic player. They're going to miss him for the next 2 games. And De Bruyne are missing. I don't think City are going to have the easiest ride. I know people are saying they're going to win the title, and everyone's putting them in as the title winners. I don't know, I'm not so sure.
Yeah, but they've got like a 50+ million midfielder on the bench. Another 30 odd million. Yeah. Another 30 odd million midfielder on the bench. Another 45 million midfielder on the bench.
Yeah, but Calvin Phillips came in and he looked about 12 stone overweight last night.
Yeah, but they've got Matheus Nunes and Matej Kovacic as well.
Yeah, when they're in the league, they'll put out a stronger side. I mean, clearly Phillips was just in because it was the Carabao Cup. If he'd been playing, if it'd been a league match, he would get nowhere near the side. Not the way he's. I mean, he's huge.
I thought it was a terrible starting anyway.
Yeah.
I've never been a fan of Phillips.
I was hoping Liverpool would sign him. It would have,
Take care, Doc.
He would have filled the hole left by Naby Keita and
and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, because he'd fill 2 beds the injury room. You'd need to get it reinforced at least.
There must have been a few people that lost their jobs in the medical department at Liverpool because need
we've good point.
We don't need as many. We don't need anything like as many now, do we? Should we move on to the next one anyway? Because there's not really much else to say about that. Non-entities got non-entities beat Brentford 3-1.
And they played like Brazil.
That's it. Blue Brazil.
Really good, yeah.
Do you mean like the Blue Brazil? I mean like Falkirk is still in Blue Brazil, so.
We played really well against Brentford. I know they had a couple of players out. They're missing Ivan Toney, which is massive. Yeah. I did actually say at the start of the season that Brentford might struggle a bit this year, if you remember. Yeah. And Tony Benby was out. The other lad got injured in the warm-up. They had a couple of players out, but to be fair to Everton, they played well and well deserved to win. Should have been 3-up at half time, and Everton played really well. And so you've got to give them a bit of credit for that. Sean Dyche and the boys, they played really good football as well, and were attacking. DCL come on, scored again, really, really good, and there's no complaints from me about how Everton are playing at the moment. So really excited to watch them, and they were good to watch, which I can't say that I've said for the last 2 seasons that they've been good to watch, because they haven't. But against Brentford, they were really good to watch and entertaining as well.
Yeah, Brentford were poor, but you can only beat what's in front of you, and Everton were really good, I thought.
Yeah, I thought they were really good, Trish, yeah.
Did you see it, Legenda? And which of the Brentford players did you have in the now injured Brentford team did you have in your fantasy football side?
I don't know whether he's injured or not, but I had Mbuemo, and he
was terrible. He was abysmal, mate.
You're lucky.
Him and
Billy, you're just lucky. You just got lucky because I have no one from Everton in my team.
Yeah, that's why you've recovered. You see, he's dropped all the Everton players, and now you're in there.
And keep it that way, will you, please?
Yeah, Jonah.
Yeah, because you've got no one worth keeping on.
Seamus Joe Deeps Legenda.
The same as O'Brien. That was the name. Same as O'Brien.
What was that? Why O'Brien?
I don't know. That's what you gave me. Like Baza gave me same as you gave me O'Brien. I took
Good
that
Irish
name by
name.
myself. Do you know what
It's a
that
good
Latin
Irish
name
name.
was from Billy?
It's a shame Baz is
Did
not
you watch
still
those
doing it.
Deeps? Did you watch the Blue Boys?
Thankfully no.
Ah, you missed
Hey,
it.
you missed a good show. A good show. Really good show.
To be fair, they were really good. I hate to say it, but I actually thought they were really good, Everton. Brentford are abysmal, though. They look like a team that's on the downslide.
Yeah.
Even with Tony back, I still don't see a good team there. They just look like they're half the side they were. See that Visser though, they've got up front instead of him. My God, he's awful. He's one of those players that you watch and you think, if he can play, I could still make it, at Premier League level. I've still got a chance, I can do what he does.
Yeah. What's the next game, Trish?
Where are we? Next one is this one, Burnley, Man United. The only thing weirdly a note in that one, obviously, was the Bruno finish was a bit special, but the game itself was abysmal, to be fair. But United won, so they won't care, will they? At the end of the day.
No, Hannibal really impressed. Is what I heard. Like he worked hard.
Yeah,
And that's just shows the level we're at right now. That if a player works hard, everybody just.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I didn't think he was that impressive. He wasn't bad. It wasn't like he was bad. He just, if he'd been in the normal Man United, so the Man United sides of old, you'd have said he's not gonna keep his place or get even near a place in that team. But like this Man United side, yeah, he's probably one of your better players.
Like when Darren Fletcher was around in his pop, he would get slated for being Sir Alex's pet, and because his main attribute was working hard.
Yeah,
but in this day and age, if you work hard, then you're already a standout.
Yeah. It shows how far standards have fallen. Well,
I've been disappointed with Burnley, though, I must say.
And actually, it doesn't just apply for Man United either. It's like from a lot of the teams. If someone is a hard worker, then they're already much.
Did you expect better from Burnley, Trish?
No, I've watched them a couple of times and they've been awful every time. They really are shit.
Yeah, I've watched them a couple. Yeah.
They
go from the start of the season.
Oh.
From the start of the season, I thought, if any of the three who come up are going to stay up, it was Burnley for me. I thought they'd be, just lower than mid-table. I think I forecast, and I've been very disappointed with them. I don't think they've got much about them at all.
No, at the moment they look a definite relegation material. They've been awful.
Yeah, they have been awful.
Oh, the way they pass.
Not looking awful, but really awful.
But they're making
change of managers on the cards. Is there?
Sorry?
Is there a change of manager? Is there a change of manager on the cards?
You think they'd get rid of Company? I don't know. I was thinking.
I'm asking should they? I'm not saying will they. I'm asking should they.
Oh right.
Oh
okay.
right. Yeah, I think he's not the right. Not if they're going to make it in the Premier League. He's never going to change his philosophy. He's always going to try and play the way he does, and it's you have to have outside.
It's such a leap, isn't it? From a championship where they actually played very well, and they were beating everyone and ramped to the title, and you got it in the Premier League, and the difference. It's like league cricket and test cricket, if we go back to cricket in terms, the gulf in quality is massive. It
You
really
do
is.
wonder how the championship sides didn't spot how bad Burnley are when they pass it around at the back, and how easy it is to put them under pressure and make the most of it, and just how did they do so well? I don't understand it. Surely, I mean, you've got to notice that if you're a championship side, surely.
You'd think so. You wonder at the standard of the championship if they were as good as what they were last year, or are they still finding the feet? I really don't know, but they look a poor outfit at the moment.
It's just the way they're playing is just so bad. The way it is 100% about the way they pass around at the back. It's ridiculous. Absolutely awful. I mean, it makes no sense. You've not got the quality of player to do that in the Premier League level, and
No.
you're just going to cause yourself problems. I don't understand it,
Yeah.
because it's like it's the latest, the fashion now for playing out from the back is starting with inside your own box because you're taking the goal kicks and you're not kicking it outside. How has that become seen as the thing to do? Because surely it just puts you under pressure immediately, doesn't it?
I hate it. I don't like it at all. Let's be honest.
No, but the worst thing is they start with a defender taking the goal kick and passing it to the keeper.
Oh, that's my pet hate, as you know. It's really
annoying. Literally pointless.
Yeah.
If the goalkeeper was that good with the ball, then he probably wouldn't have been a goalkeeper to begin with.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, okay, if it's Alisson or Ederson, but then.
But even with them, no.
I was going to say, even them, you'd expect the defenders. The defenders they're playing alongside are so good with the ball. Surely they'd be better anyway. So what's the point of it? And you're playing.
Even go back to the Everton game. Last night. I know we haven't talked about it, but they played Villa, and Villa done exactly the same, and they ended up with something like 62% possession, but it was all in their own box. They were playing little 1-2, and Everton were putting them under pressure, and they were keeping hold of the ball, but they were going absolutely nowhere, and that's exactly what Burnley do.
Yeah.
We need a new kind of stat now. We need a new kind of stat where it's meaningful possession instead of just possession.
Yeah, I've always thought that. It's possession for possession.
Yeah, I like that, Deep, yeah. Never thought of that.
No, they should, because there's already things like expected goals, expected assists, and like post saves. There should also be expected possession.
That's what that's definitely a round of applause. Definitely.
I think that's one of Burnley's downfalls. And another team I seen doing it the other week was Southampton, and they got murdered going to championships. Sorry, but you can't do it unless you've got the players, and they haven't got the players, Burnley, to do that.
It just makes no sense to me either. I mean, why would you even want to play? Why do you want to get the ball in the 6-yard box? Surely you want it further forward. I mean, why do you want the ball? Of course you do, yeah. Why do you want to take possession of the ball in the 6-yard box? You're all immediately under pressure. It's just fashion. Sometimes for things that just don't make sense. You can understand some of the fashions, if it works, but this doesn't.
No.
Anyway,
right, moving on, Chris. Yeah, go on, mate.
North London derby, Arsenal v Tottenham, 2-2. Obviously, I didn't watch that, so.
I watched it actually, and it was a pretty good game. I actually thought Tottenham deserved the draw. Possibly could have had a bit more, but Arsenal are a decent side. I don't think they're as good as they were last year, but they're a decent side, but it just shows you how much ground Tottenham have made up to what they were last year. I think they're a pretty decent side, and I think they'll do okay. I don't think they're getting top 4. I've got no doubts about that they won't get top 4. But They are good to watch.
So who do you think will be top 4 then? You don't think Spurs?
I think it. I don't think Spurs will make it. I don't think they're going to be consistent enough. I think it's going to be City and Liverpool, obviously. Arsenal probably. I think Arsenal are going to be there. And Everton possibly, I'm not sure. Probably Newcastle.
I was just having a drink then, I think you've just killed me. Oh, thanks, mate. Oh, shit.
Yeah, probably Newcastle. I'll be the top 4. Tottenham 5th or 6th, maybe.
Oh, Raz, I can see Newcastle falling away. I think it's Spurs will finish above them, personally.
Do you? All right, okay.
Yeah. But I like Hans Postecoglou, so...
Yeah, I know, yeah. I think everyone's taken through.
You have to consider one more thing, like Spurs don't have European football to
Exactly.
attend.
Yeah,
As the season progresses, you can...
And they
like,
don't have
see
Eddie Howe in charge either, which is always a plus.
As the season progresses, you can like envision them getting better with their football. And maybe that could be a use for them.
Yeah, I just don't see Newcastle as that. They don't look anything like as good as they were last season, despite the arrival of Tonali. They just don't look a particularly good side this year. I don't know. Maybe
I don't like watching them, to be honest with you. I'm not a fan of their antics. The time waste, the dive.
Yeah.
I don't like all that. I don't like to actually watch them because I'm always swearing at the telly again, and because they're just a horrible side. But very effective as well. They are effective, I must say now.
What's going to say?
They are effective to produce 8 goals.
Yeah, but that was against Sheffield United. Well, we'll get to that in a bit anyway.
Yeah, go on.
So we still finished. Are we finished with Arsenal Tottenham, or anything else you want to say on that? Anything to say on it, Seamus?
No, good game to watch. I'd say. 2-2, attractive football. Both teams going for it. I thought it was a good advert for the game, to be honest with you. Go on, Seamus.
I have nothing to say because I didn't watch it.
Okay, right. We'll move on to the next game, which is Brighton versus Bournemouth. Fairly routine victory for Brighton by the looks of it. I didn't see that either. I've only seen highlights.
No, I never seen it. I've seen the highlights.
Did you see anything of that, Seamus?
I didn't, but I must say I'm worried for Bournemouth and Iraola.
Yeah, Iraola doesn't look like he knows what he's doing, does he, at the moment? Which is strange.
Yeah.
Very odd.
Yeah.
It just looks complete. Maybe it's because of the language barriers. I don't know, but he just doesn't look like he's the same manager that they chased and got. It seems like he's a completely different man there. He doesn't seem to know what he's doing, but there you go. Move on. Chelsea Villa. Don't know if anybody saw that one. I certainly didn't. Again,
seen bits of it.
Game, so.
Yeah. Seen bits of it. Seen the highlights. Not that there was many. Chelsea, a very poor side. I know he's still trying to find his feet, the manager, but they look on a bad side, to be honest with you. They're not a great side, up and down, but Chelsea look a really poor side, and it wouldn't have been beyond the realms if Villa had beat them on Saturday. I thought they were the better side. I think they looked devoid of ideas, Chelsea, and I can't see them getting near Europe. They're expecting quite a bit with Pochettino coming in, made all sorts of signings, but they haven't fitted in as a team. They've got a couple of good individuals for me, and You know, they should be doing a lot better, but they're not playing as a team. And that surprises me because I actually like Pochettino. I know some on here aren't, but I actually like him as a manager. But
He lacks discipline.
I think his sides usually play decent football, but they look devoid of ideas. Chelsea, don't look as though they're enjoying it. You know, I was talking before about Szoboszlai. Looks as though he's enjoying his football. He's got a smile on his face. Don't get wrong, that comes with winning as well. But none of them look as though none of the Chelsea team look as though they're enjoying the football. A load of individuals, not a very good team. Very disappointed with Chelsea up to now.
I wonder how many of them are thinking. I wonder, like, with your Caicedo and Lavia, you must be thinking, shit. We should have chosen Liverpool.
We made a bad decision. Yeah.
You've got to
be. Though, aren't you? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
You've got to be wondering, and even if it's not like in the forefront, it's got to be in the back of your mind. Have we got we made the right choice here?
Yeah.
Especially if you're Lavia, because you've not gotten a kick.
Yeah, and then get injured. Before he
was told he was injured, and then he got actually injured.
That was really weird. Poch was saying he wasn't fit enough or something. Yeah, he'd been freaking playing. He'd been playing games. How could he not have been match fit? They would say, they would make it was just an excuse. Clearly, Pochettino didn't actually want him. I don't think he wanted that signing at all, did he? Because he didn't seem to know what to do with him.
I just don't know who's making the decisions at Chelsea for the players, because
exactly, and also if I don't know why Lavia chose Chelsea, because, and like Billy said, Chelsea choosing to go after him is also baffling. But they signed a young kid, a teenager, to be in and around their team for the future in Leslie Ugochukwu. They paid decent money for him. Then they went out and broke the British transfer record for another young, slightly more experienced, a 21, 22-year-old Moises Caicedo. Then what the hell is a 20-year-old guy supposed to do? He's not gonna be the future, and he's not gonna be the present. Why would he go there? Whoever advised him is a ridiculous advisor.
Yeah. Advisors are only after one thing: money. That's what it's all about, money.
Yeah,
the kid might be.
Same with Caicedo. The reason he went there is because they offered him a lot of money. That's why he chose.
No, but at least with Caicedo, they were chasing him for so long, and he was it was pretty clear he was their main target for midfield.
And he's, to be fair, he's also a lifelong Chelsea, Man United, Real Madrid, Arsenal fan. So, anybody else? Did I miss anybody? I'm sure I did. Yeah, but Lavia,
maybe that's how he learns English, by reading the names of football clubs.
Yeah, well, he certainly learned enough of them. The ones he supported. And every single one. Don't want to go rehash that.
I think Merseyside is the only place he hasn't got enough favourite left from.
What I don't understand is, probably, yeah. But what I don't understand with the Caicedo, when Reece James went out injured, you've got Lavia on the, you had the perfect chance. Move Caicedo to right back where he spent a lot of last season, and put Lavia in the team. If you'd wanted him.
Yes, I've got Lily here. Who's going to win the league? I've got a clue. You must know who's going to win the thing. Well,
no,
Liverpool is going to win the bloody league at all.
Yeah, I think she's got a push. She's good. We should get her on instead of you. What about Ange Postecoglou? We want to hear about Ange Postecoglou. What does she do?
She's gone now. She doesn't like football much. Only Liverpool.
Get us some head. Because we're about to talk about Liverpool next.
Yeah, I can do without her as well as all my mates. Talking about Liverpool.
Well, we'll do Liverpool next anyway. Liverpool beating West Ham, and it was absolute hiding. I mean, really, the scoreline flattered West Ham. To be honest, they didn't offer anything. They only offered for like about 5 minutes at the end of the first half. I mean, and he said second half. Then well, the first half when they pushed up.
Nice finish by Bowen, though, wasn't it?
Yeah,
nice little finish by Bowen. Look at it.
But you look at it and you're thinking, boys mustn't have watched Liverpool play this season. Everybody knows that the way to get at Liverpool is play someone wide and high on the left, where the inverted fullback comes inside. So you play someone wide and high on the left, but then you play someone high in the centre to pin the centre back so they can't come across and cover the gap. But he just played Antonio up top on his own. So Antonio was told, obviously, had instructions to go pull out to the right. You know, to pull out to the Liverpool's right. I mean, you know, go out to the left to try and get in that gap. But obviously, with nobody pinning the centre backs in the centre, there was no centre forward. So they were just so Matip just followed him there and marked him completely out of the game. I mean, he was in Matip's pocket, which is, you know, if you're Antonio, you've got to be a little bit worried, don't you, if you're in Matip's pocket when he's not renowned for being defensively solid. To be fair, you know, great on the ball, but he's not the most solid one-on-one defender. Yeah, he absolutely annihilated. I mean, he totally overwhelmed Antonio. It was quite embarrassing at times because he was just throwing himself to the floor every time it went near him in the end, just trying to get anything. You know, it was a little bit embarrassing. It was quite an easy. But it was the Moyes thing. It is the Moyes factor. He cost the team any chance in that game. The inverted fullback worked well because, like I said, he was only playing one up top, so there was, you know, they could play the inverted fullback all day because there was no pressure on him. The one moment they did actually put pressure on it, they went and scored because they pushed Bowen up in the centre. So suddenly the centre backs were pinned in the centre and couldn't come across to the right, and it ended up Antonio got space. You know, they had a bit of space down their left, put the ball in, and Bowen scores.
But even when it was 1-1, there was no chance of West Ham winning that game.
No, as soon
as you say, because the tactics.
They went back to the same old.
They just sat back. They sat back, and you know, I knew at 1-1 that Liverpool were going. I had no problem in saying that Liverpool are going to win this easy, you know, and they did. Because you know, West Ham can be a difficult side to beat. I thought it was going to be a bit of a tougher game than what it turned out to be. But as you say, the Moyes factor, you know, try and get a draw and that'll do you. I'll be made up with a draw. No, you don't. You know, I'm not a fan of David Moyes anyway. But they've got better players to have to play that way, you know, than what they're instructed to play for me. I think they're a half-decent team.
They do lack they haven't got any width down their left. And that was the problem. They needed someone down their left. But I've got to say, Paquetá, however it's pronounced, I'm not sure, because every commentator seems to say it differently. But him, fabulous player, absolutely brilliant. I can see why City targeted him as their, you know, he was the signing they were trying to make for the summer. Really, really, really good player. I really like him. He's a bit special, a bit wasted to be honest at West Ham because he was playing, you know, he was having to play in his own, basically deep in his own half most of the time, and there was nobody for him to pass to. You know, he could do something magical, but you know, there's just nothing to do with it. When he could end up beating 3 or 4 players, and what's he going to do with it then? He's still stuck with the ball because there's nobody to play it out to. There is no outball for them, so they were always going to struggle. And they did.
Did you watch the game, Deets?
No, I didn't. I was just gonna ask Tracy if Paquetá picked up a suspicious yellow again.
Do you know what? That's a good question. That I didn't even notice. I should have taken notice of that, shouldn't I? That's really poor of me. But I was doing the watch along thing, so it's a bit distracting, and it kept, doing the watch along. You tend to check in the thing. Everybody else is so far bloody ahead of me in the chat, the live chat, because it's running behind on my stream. That it's really frustrating because you know what's going to happen before, and it kind of ruins the game.
It does.
You know Liverpool have scored because everyone's saying it in the chat. You're like, when they score, it's kind of like. Yeah.
You're 4 minutes behind,
yeah. The only thing you're wondering is it going to be chalked off again? Because there was a goal chalked off for offside.
No, but by the time the goal gets tucked off, you would have already known. That's the thing.
Yeah, because they've told us.
Someone scores, they celebrate, then the VAR check, then it gets ruled out, and still Chris is behind.
Yeah, no, I was. That was how bad it was getting. It's ridiculous.
I know.
Because you had to keep pausing, didn't you, to wait for me to catch up.
Even before I was in the chats during this game, like at the tail end.
Oh, you did, didn't you? Yeah, you came in.
Yeah, and Doc said like, "Oh, this guy scored," and then he corrected himself, and then he again corrected himself, and Chris is like, "Okay, they've still not scored at mine."
Yeah, it is a little bit frustrating to say the least. It does kind of ruin the game, and you're doing a watch along. I mean, you're not really able to react. You're just reading the chat in the end. You just end up. You're not really. It does take away a little bit. So I think in future when I do them watch alongs, I'm gonna try not to read too much of the chat, or maybe not even look at it at all on the song, because you're not actually reacting to the game, are you? Talking about it or anything. No. You just ended up reading it, and it's kind of seems to kill the point of it.
And Billy, we're not joking. Chris's feed is around a minute behind my television.
Oh.
Literally.
All right.
Around a minute.
Goal for Batiste. Yeah. Yeah, so it was at least a minute, wasn't it? 1 minute 20 or something in the end. You had to pause it, something like that. It was worse last night. Because it just kept freezing.
Everyone was out last night. Everyone that I know was out. The streams. I don't know whether it was the weather. We've had bad thunderstorms here.
Oh, we
about
do.
The streaming. Everyone was complaining about the streams yesterday, because none of them were on mainstream television. So everyone was streaming, and everyone's was buffering and going off. And
mine's a legitimate stream though, not even a dodgy one. Like it was just really bad. But there's bad storms here, so.
Yeah, there was bad storms, especially over Ireland, and a lot of the streams are coming from Ireland. So, yeah, it was bad yesterday. It was bad.
So it might have been a mix of lots of storms making it difficult, like.
Yeah.
Getting the signal from their end and then getting it in my end as well is a problem. Yeah. Anyway, should we move on? Because there's not really a lot to say. Liverpool just completely outplayed West Ham. It was quite. I'm really kind of. Considering how well West Ham have done in some games, I was really disappointed that they didn't do a bit better, to be honest. Because you want to beat the best team playing at their best level, and still beat them. You know what I mean? That's what you want. You watch your team do, don't you? You don't want to see them roll over a crap side, do you? You want to see them beat the best. But yeah. Anyway, so we move on. Speaking of crap sides getting rolled over. Sheffield United, Newcastle. I mean, I watched some of this. I got bored. I got to be honest. I got bored, turned it off. Sheffield United are god awful. They really are. It was
embarrassing.
They're Luton level. That's how bad they are.
Yeah, it was embarrassing. I must admit, that was embarrassing. They actually gave up a 4-0.
I think they gave up a
We tried to do a watch along, and we self-retired halftime.
Yeah, we switched it off. It was just like, this is no point.
No, the first goal, I thought it was maybe an offside or something, and Sheffield had stopped play.
Yeah, they did. They literally just stopped and watched, didn't they?
Yeah.
And
I feared for the manager. I really feared for the manager this week. I thought he'd be going. Because if you can't motivate your side to even have a go you're in big trouble. And I thought he might have been a casualty this week. Who did get to take over, I don't know. But I just thought after that performance, I thought he could be on his way here this week. Because it was a disgusting show. You got to think of them supporters who buy season tickets, buy merchandise, and they go and watch that. 8-0 at home is absolute disgraceful. It really is. To not even try, which they never, once they were gone a few goals down, they never even tried. And I honestly thought he'd be the first managerial casualty of the proceedings, but obviously not.
Yeah, because the Luton man, I mean, he's done a miracle to get them up. So you'd be surprised if he went. I think the other. Who do you think? Right, let's do this. Let's go to who do you think is going to be the first casualty? Because that's covered all the Premier League games now. So who are we having as the first casualty of the Premier League season?
Do you know? I'll have a guess here. A little bit of an outsider, but I'll go for Pochettino.
How is that the outsider? That's the awesome favorite.
Yeah, that's who
Yeah, that's the awesome favorite.
If he can't turn this around, I reckon he's got 3 or 4 games to turn it round. I know they got a little win last night, beat Brighton, which is a good result. I don't know what the sides were like.
Brighton reserves.
Yeah, but I think he's got a few games to sort it out. Otherwise, he could be the first one to go.
No, Tris was saying that Julian Lopetegui was apparently watching.
He was at the game at the weekend against Villa, apparently.
All right.
In the director's box, and that was the rumor is. I don't know how true this is. This is only what's coming out of Wolves. Like is the fans saying the rumor is that Lopetegui's problem with Wolves was they wouldn't let him talk to Chelsea when Chelsea were interested in taking him at the in this season. They didn't want Pochettino, they wanted Lopetegui. That was who they wanted.
Oh,
that's what the fight was. He forced his way out. He was trying to get out, and that's why he threw a strop and basically walked out on the club because they wouldn't let him go to speak to Chelsea.
All right, okay.
And so now he's been seen. Apparently, he was at the game. Been seen there's footage of him there. So it does suggest that maybe he's keeping a watching brief ready, and maybe Pochettino has to get some wins quick, or he's gone for Lopetegui.
Do you think him as well, Tris? Do you think?
I think
that Pochettino's.
Yeah, I don't think Pochettino was the right man. They needed they've got a bunch of kids with a team low in confidence. What you need is a man who comes in and brings in discipline. If they're playing well, like when he took over Southampton, they were already playing well. They weren't low on confidence. They were, they were a decent side at the time, and so he came in and he just injected a bit more, gave him a bit of a boost. Put his arm around him, and that's fine. But when you're low on confidence, what you need is someone to come in and instill discipline and fight in you. And he is not that man. He puts his arm around them and he's a friend to them, and they don't need that. It's completely the opposite of what you need when you're in trouble. You need someone to make you work and work and work and work and work. Because that's how you get out of a rut.
Yeah.
So he'd be my choice as well. What about you, Seamus? Should I pick somebody else just because you've said it?
I think Paul Heckingbottom is a very good candidate for this, and I would have said Anthony Raiola if they had handpicked him to join in a not so worse position. If it was just let's say if Gary O'Neill was just an interim manager and he had barely survived and they'd gone in and brought him, then I think Iraola's his job would have had a lot more risk if for the circumstances in how he was brought in. But Heckingbottom is awesome for me.
So I'm
Yeah.
going to pick somebody different anyway, just because you've said Pochettino. I know that's who I'd also say, but I think just to pick a different one, just to have a keep it interesting. We'll go for somebody different. I'm going to go with Eddie Howe
All right. I think
because
he's doing too well at the moment. They're getting the results.
well, they're 8th in the table.
Yeah, I know. They just beat Man City. They put 8 past Sheffield United.
Man
A
City
poor
in
Sheffield United.
Yeah, but they beat Man City in the League Cup. It's like nobody
Yeah.
cares, and they haven't exactly got a strong. It wasn't exactly City's full strength side. I mean, Calvin Phillips was playing for God's sake.
Yeah, I know that. I know that. But a win is a win, isn't it? And
Yeah.
the supporters seem to be.
I think a lot would
Yeah.
also depend on Champions League, how they fare.
Yeah, and I can't see them doing well in that at all. I just don't think
They
they're
got
good
off to a
enough.
decent start, though, haven't they? They got a draw, didn't they? Right?
Yeah, but I don't think their ownership wants a draw. I think their ownership thinks they're like spending whatever amount it was on Tonali. They expecting a bit more, I think.
All right. Okay.
I just think that being 8th in the table, I think they want a team that finishes. They're looking to be top 4 again. They're looking to solidify top 4 position, and I don't think he's going to do it. I don't think. Like I said, I think Pochettino's well ahead of him, and Heckingbottom will go before him as well. But yeah, I think.
No, like Billy, I am in a way surprised Heckingbottom is still there.
The other one
But
I'd say that I'd be worried for.
Takes in.
The only other one I'd suggest that I'm worried for though is Thomas Frank at Brentford, because they look rank awful. They look absolutely abysmal this season. I can see
Yeah,
them.
but they can just say they can just come out and say it's just because they don't have Tony.
Yeah, but they'll have Tony in January, and I can't see it making a difference.
I think they need more than Tony. Brentford, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I don't think
But-
that's the issue.
He'll be back in January, but will he be there? It's
Well,
just agency as well. He's been linked with moves away, and
Yeah,
a certain team that plays in blue from London desperately needs a strike.
Yeah.
Jackson looks a prospect, but he only
He's
looks
not
a
a goal.
prospect.
Yeah, he's not a goal scorer. He's very raw. He's only played like 3 seasons or something in total of professional football, hasn't he, Jackson?
And he also cemented his place in the Villarreal team because of an injury to Gerard Moreno and the other guy. It's not like he had broken through and stamped his authority in the team either. Basically what I'm trying to say is he probably hasn't played enough minutes to be ready to be a week in week out striker.
No, I mean,
and
even-
a completely new country, new league, new
And even
team.
Even the games he did well, he wasn't like he was scoring stacks of goals. It was that he did well bullying defenders with strength and power and pace. It wasn't like he did against Real Madrid and that. He started against them, but he wasn't notching a hat trick or anything. He wasn't racking up the goals. He was just playing well, bullying defender, and putting them under pressure. And Chelsea needs someone to put the ball in the net. That's a huge difference between the two things.
Yeah, they're missing a drop, but aren't they? They're missing someone like that, up front. They've had good strikers over the years, which has carried them,
Jackson might grow into that, though. To be fair, yeah, he's looks a very good player, but for now, they need someone to do it now. I actually think having Tony would be a brilliant choice because he'd be someone to actually teach him because he's a goal scorer, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. Good player, I like him. Fan of Tony's.
Good man for
Right.
Jackson to
Is
learn.
there any more games we haven't done, Tris?
Only the EFL get the Carabao Cup games, but I don't think there's really much to talk about there. We've basically touched on most of the things that we're talking about, haven't we, on them?
Yeah, the Villa
Okay.
game, yeah.
One more thing before we go. I think before we finish,
Go on.
we should wrap it up. One more thing. Who's going to win the Carabao Cup?
Oh,
Billy, go on.
that's going to depend on how serious the big boys take it. For me, I'd like to think Everton, but I'm going against that. I don't think Everton are good enough to beat sides when they put the full sides out. Who am I going to go for? I'll go for Newcastle. I think that they need won a trophy. They need a trophy, and I think that they might have a real go in the Carabao. I know they beat City and they beat a half-hearted City, but I'm going to say Newcastle.
Yeah, I think that's a good shout as well. What about you, Seamus? Who do you think's going to win it?
Erik ten Hag's Arnie.
Yeah, didn't you win it last season?
Yeah. Thanks for saying that. That means they've got no chance now.
You've got to beat Newcastle in the next round. So.
Yeah, but that's the only competition we seem to play decently well in.
You're looking at the teams left in it, and do you know what? Arsenal are still, you know, they can be a good cup side. West Ham can be a good cup side. Chelsea, they could be their, you know, that could be their saving grace. But I was thinking Newcastle as well, but I'm going to have to say somebody else. I can't say us because I don't want to jinx us. So, and I can see, and obviously we put out half a side. And we made 10 changes last game. Only Jones played from the, from the team last week, and he played at right back. Of all the things, I mean, who would have kicked us? Who would have said if you'd have said, Jones was playing? Who would have said he's going to be starting at right back before that game? It's a really odd thing to do, but it seemed to work all right. But mostly because they weren't ready, to be fair. But yeah, you look at it. There's not many left. There's not much left this time.
It's a hard one to call, a really hard one to call. As I say, it'll depend on what sorts of sides they put out. Liverpool, if they put the full strength out, have got a good chance of winning. But I don't think they will. I don't think that's club style. I think they'll play half a team until they get to the semis. If they get to the semis, and I think it'll depend on, as I say, the strength of the squad and the teams they put out. As you say, Arsenal's not a bad shout. Chelsea, I can't see Chelsea winning anything this year. I really can't. But maybe Everton. You never know.
This is a competition that any team that takes it seriously could win.
Yeah.
It's that simple, because the big boys don't really take it seriously. Any of the teams can win it. This is the hardest one to call. That's why I wanted to ask who you think. I can see Man United doing it as well. If they beat Newcastle, it suddenly cuts away the only other side.
That's the only thing they're ever going to win this year, isn't it?
Newcastle and Man United are the two that are going to take it most seriously out of the teams left in it. You've got to say they're the ones that are likely to. Chelsea obviously have to, because they've got nothing. They're not going to win the league. They're not going to even do well in the league, are they? You know what I mean? They're going to struggle unless they get the confidence up. And the way to do that is just win games. So they have to take every competition seriously. So yeah, but they just don't seem to have it, do they? So,
right, boys. I think that's me done. I'm going to have me tea.
What we having tonight, Bill?
Chop. It's a pork chop. Pork chop.
Oh, pork chop.
With a pork steak. Sorry, it's pork steak with fried rice and noodles.
You fat bastard.
So I'm going to have that now, and you'll be hungry.
Yeah, I'm starving myself because I fell asleep before we started this. Oh, I can't believe I did that. I slept in so long.
Right, boys. Thanks very much. It's been a podcast, and I shall see you next Thursday.
See you next Thursday.
Ta-ra, boys.
Bye-bye. Take care, Billy.
Thanks everyone that's listened, and thank you, Seamus and Billy. Even though he's gone, I'll still thank him, even though we won't hear it. and take care, everyone that's listened, and see you next Thursday.
See you next Thursday.